Welcome everyone to another episode of Amplify, where we like to highlight and spotlight fancy people like Pete over at Prymak, CMB member. Welcome, Pete.
Thanks for having me again.
And we are coming to you from Secondary Capital Markets in New York City. Beautiful background. I have to give a special gracias to the Marriott. They're very gracious to kind of hold this spot for me all the time. Thank you. So, Pete, how are you, honey?
I'm doing great. It's good to see you. I love coming to these conferences.
Yeah.
Kind of have three objectives coming to these, and we'll talk about some of the ones I've been to lately. But three, besides seeing my good friends that are in the industry, it's great to network and market yourself and find out what's going on with different lenders and see how we can help them. I'll talk a little bit about what we do as we go through this. And then learn what other vendors are doing, which we'll talk about as well. So it's great to be here in New York City, and my son is here.
Yes,
you got
Nick,
to meet my son
and Nick yesterday.
and my daughter-in-law. So they live in Brooklyn, so they hung out with us last time.
That was great. I took a picture and I sent it over to Renee, Pete's wife. I was like, hey. So
awesome.
But I saw you. You were last week at Encino. Where was that at?
Yeah, so I was at Encino. Did their Insight, which is their annual conference. They do it in Charlotte. They're based out of North Carolina, so they do it every year in Charlotte. So I went for a day. I got to learn a lot of cool stuff about their innovation. So they're a company that's one of the leaders in trying to innovate their point of sale and closing products and the customer experience with real estate agents, loan officers, and borrowers. And my goal at these conferences, my company, we do advisory services for lenders. We help lenders find new systems, implement new systems, improve their workflows using technology. So we're agnostic. So as much as I like a lot of these products, I don't promote one over the other. It's whatever works for the customer, whatever we decide for. But so I love coming to these things and going to conferences like that to learn what they're doing. There's a lot of good innovation. There's also maybe we'll talk about AI a little bit as we go through
there's that buzzword we can't get away from. But before we dive into the AI, right?
Yep.
I just sounded the AI.
AI.
Do we dive into AI? Tell us a little bit about Prymak and what you do.
Yeah, so our goal, as I kind of mentioned, is working with lenders early on and trying to figure out what they need from a technology standpoint, whether it's a new system, whether it's adding a plug-in, whether it's a new pricing engine that needs to go part of their LOS system, or maybe as big as a new servicing system or a new loan origination system. And then we are kind of boots on the ground. Kim and I, Kim, my partner,
hey, Kim.
Hey Kim, we do implementation. So we're the quarterback for the lender to kind of put all the different vendors together, and then keep with the lenders long term and help improve, keep consulting and advising them on what's in the market. Because we'll talk AI. I mean, AI is a new thing, but at the same time, it's a much overused buzzword, and I get concerned sometimes that we forget about the blocking and tackling, kind of the basics of technology. Doing the basic stuff like you got to produce an LE and a CD and a document package, and you got to underwrite to certain conditions. So while AI can help in a lot of those things, it doesn't replace a lot of that stuff. So we can't get too far out, and people misuse the word artificial intelligence a lot. It should be machine learning, where technology is getting smarter.
I like that.
And the biggest use of it that I've seen that really is working is in the area of document recognition.
Okay.
So there are 10,000 plus financial institutions with different banking statements that are produced. So a borrower sends theirs in. It could be from any bank within the country, or a credit union, or a depository. And the technology learns to know to be able to read what's in there, to find large transactions, be able to know exactly where things are, even though there's 10,000 versions of that document. So that's really where AI I'm seeing do a good job in this industry. But
it should not replace, like you said, the CD, right? It cannot replace certain things.
So like all technologies or all innovations, you still need the human in the loop, and that's a word you hear all the time when we're talking about AI, is that while it's very good, it's not perfect, and it's a tool, and it doesn't reason. As much as it sounds like that it's intelligent, it really doesn't reason. It's just machine learning what it's doing, but the reasoning has to come from the people. So you can't replace an underwriter with AI. You can help the underwriter do more loans, because underwriters are doing sometimes only 1.5 underwrites a day.
Okay.
And that's just not efficient. They need to be at 4 or more per day. And this is just one tool to help them do that, but ultimately the lender, the underwriter, is going to make the decision. So AI is a great tool, just like a PC is, just like a lawnmower is. Just only the
Yeah.
person pushing that technology
But
around.
somebody's pushing it.
Yes, right.
Somebody's feeding it.
Right.
And so I get it. It is a great tool, but it doesn't reason, and it can't make ultimately the final choice. An actual person has to make a final decision, especially within our lending space.
Right.
It's important.
Yeah, and the regulators are expecting the lenders. I mean, they're not holding the AI responsible; they're holding the lender responsible for mistakes. So you got to be careful. It's not perfect. I mean, I use AI all the time for whether it's helping with rewrite emails and project lens and stuff like that. But it makes a lot of mistakes, so I got to correct it. But it's a great tool.
Yeah.
It does make us work faster, but doesn't take away the human element.
No, and I feel also, as much as we utilize it, and I do use it on a day-to-day, I would admit that, but I do make a very conscious effort to make sure I do not, it sounds like me. I want it to sound like Delilah, right? I do not want it to sound like AI. And I think a lot of folks need to understand that, again, it's something that you can use, a tool, but don't let it take over how you sound, like the human of yourself.
Yeah, so one of the things I get to do that's fun is I teach School of Mortgage Banking too. I teach technology.
Yes.
I'm one of 4 instructors they rotate between. And part of it we talk a bit about AI, and you talk about a good point, using, whether it's chat or ChatGPT, or whether it's Copilot or Gemini or one of those, while you want it to help you formulate your ideas, you want it to sound like you. So whether it's using different characters that you would use in an email or in a document, or different words than you would use, but good thing you can train it to teach it to speak like Delilah, to speak like me. The more you use it, the smarter it does get. But again, I never take. I won't say never. For the most part, I don't take anything out of AI and just dump it in. I've got to edit it, change it. Again, make it our voice. But it's, again, just like everything else, it's a great tool to kind of advance some of your. Sometimes my ideas are kind of all over the place. So you throw it in there, it kind of puts it together. So all right, now I know what I'm trying to say.
Now I got some kind of foundation and some kind of outline to follow. I get it. I do. As we wrap this up, tell us a little bit how that mortgage banking class is going. What type of students are you seeing come in?
So it's great. So the School of Mortgage Banking, I highly recommend through the MBA. They have 1, 2, and 3, and there's different subjects. I teach the technology piece, which is part of 2. And like the last one I just did was in Indianapolis. Shout out to Merchants Bank, who actually hired the MBA to do the entire on-site for about 30 members of their team. So we went out there with people teaching secondary marketing and some of the servicing and some of the other parts of it. So they brought all different parts of their mortgage company into the class to learn. And again, my role was to teach them technology, show them how they can utilize technology, get them to think in terms of ways they can improve their workflows that way. And then there's the public classes that get done by the MBA. Some are online, some are in person. I always love the in-person ones. This is so much better.
This was so much better
than doing it this way. I like you guys, but this is much better. So that's kind of, and you're seeing it all over the industry. People coming in that are trying to get a full grasp, because it's so complex.
It is.
I mean, you talk to just somebody that may not understand the complexity of our business, and the School of Mortgage Banking teaches you all those complexities over hours and hours and hours of education. And then you can go to we talked about the CMB and try to get this pin. Once you get through the School of Mortgage Banking, you're on a good track to be able to earn this. And get this. There's only about 500 of us that say active, 600 of us that are active.
Exclusive group of individuals, but I know how I've heard the complexity it is, how hard it can be, and it's a dedication to go through this. So now, and I also, before we start wrapping this up, I want to congratulate you on the last 25 years. So this is Prymak's 25-year anniversary. Congratulations. If you go on Pete's page, on Prymak's page, you'll see there is a journey about it, and he will continue on in 2026, God willing, talking about that, because these are the things that I like to tell, backstory, storytelling, how you got here, and Pete is very open to sharing his last 25 years, the ups and the downs as well. So
absolutely. No, it's been a great 25 years, but we've had some rough years.
Yeah.
And just like the whole industry.
Yeah. So thank you for being a
Oh,
guest.
I love
Always,
being with you,
honey, keep it
Delaney.
hard.
Yes, awesome.
Thank you.
So, thanks,
and
everybody.
thank you for watching another episode of Amplify, where we highlight fancy people who have been in it for 25 years. Bye.
Bye.